It's pretty wild when you stop and think about how much learning has changed, right? I mean, we've gone from these rigid, structured digital classrooms to basically having a global university right in our pockets. And now we have personal AI tutors that are on call 24/7. So, what are the key pieces of tech that are driving this incredible shift? Well, let's break it down. All right, so here's our roadmap. First up, we're going to look at the foundation of it all, the structured digital classroom. Then, we'll explore how education completely broke free of those digital walls. After that, we're going to meet the new kid on the block, the intelligent assistants that are changing the entire game. And to wrap it all up, we'll look at the incredible future that starts to take shape when all of these pieces finally click together. So let's start at the beginning, with the foundation. For a lot of us, our very first experience with online learning was through something called a learning management system, or an LMS. The easiest way to think about it, it's basically the official digital version of a school building. What an LMS does is create this single, organized hub for a student. You know the one. It's where you find your syllabus, turn in your assignments, check your grades, and get all your course materials. Everything is in one place, neatly organized and controlled by the school. So what's the official definition? Well, an LMS is really the software backbone for a school or even a company's internal training program. Its whole purpose is to create a structured, super controlled environment where teachers and administrators can manage the entire learning experience from top to bottom. And this really shows you why an LMS is so much more than just a digital folder for your files. It gives institutions the power to build entire courses from scratch, control exactly who gets to see what, and, maybe most importantly, track how every student is doing using data and analytics. It really is a complete management tool. Now, when we look at the big players in this space, you start to see some really clear regional patterns. In the US, for instance, universities have pretty much gone all in on Canvas, which is known for being really user-friendly and cloud-based. But if you go to Latin America or Europe, you'll find that Moodle, which is open source, is a huge favorite because it's so flexible and you can customize it to do almost anything. Okay, so that's the structured classroom. But what happens when learning escapes the confines of just one institution? Well, that brings us to the great disruption. Massive open online courses, or MOOCs. This is the global university. In this image perfectly captures the core promise of MOOCs. All of a sudden, you didn't need to be enrolled in a specific university to take its world-class courses. All you really needed was a laptop and an internet connection. It just blew the doors open, making elite education accessible to pretty much anyone, anywhere. The key is right there in the name, massive and open. MOOCs took these amazing courses from the world's best universities and just put them online for a massive global audience, completely shattering the geographic and financial walls that had always surrounded higher education. The landscape here is really fascinating. On one hand, you've got giants like Coursera and edX who partner with elite universities like Yale and MIT to bring that academic prestige to the masses. But then you've got platforms like Udemy, which works more like a giant online marketplace, focusing on practical skills taught by individual experts on, well, just about anything you can imagine. This explosion of global access, though, brings up a really big question. Is everyone around the world just jumping on the same platforms? Or are local tastes and needs still a major factor? And the answer is, it's definitely not a one-size-fits-all world. While the US market might lean towards Canvas and Coursera, you see that in Latin America, the open-source flexibility of Moodle is often a better fit. And then you look at Asia, where a super dynamic market is popping up, with huge local platforms like China's X going head-to-head with the global players. And that brings us to the most recent and honestly maybe the most profound shift in this whole story. We're now adding a layer of pure intelligence on top of everything else. It is time to talk about AI chatbots, or as I like to call them, the personal tutor. This right here is the new frontier. We're moving beyond platforms that just deliver content to you. We're now entering an era of tools that can actually interact with us, understand what we're asking, and carry on a real conversation about what we're trying to learn. At their heart, these AI chatbots are basically conversational partners. They're powered by machine learning, so they can understand natural human language. That means you can ask them to explain a super complex topic, help you find a bug in your code, or even help you brainstorm an essay. So what makes them so powerful? It's this unique set of skills. They're available literally 24/7. They can understand the context of what you're talking about, and they can speak multiple languages. But the real game changer, it's that they are designed to constantly learn, getting smarter and more helpful with every single conversation you have. Of course, everyone knows ChatGPT from OpenAI. That's the one that kicked off this whole revolution. But a really diverse market is already starting to take shape. You have these specialized tools like Perplexity, which is kind of like an AI search engine that actually cites its sources. And then you have regional powerhouses like DeepSeek, which is incredibly strong in the Chinese language market. So we looked at the structured digital classroom, the borderless global university, and now the intelligent personal tutor. The big question is, what's next? What happens when these three incredibly powerful ideas start to merge into one? This quote from our analysis really nails it. The next big wave isn't about choosing between these tools. It's about bringing them all together. The future of learning is all about integration. And this is the real shift. We're moving from a world of separate tools to one seamless ecosystem. Just imagine, you're in your university's Canvas course, but now there's a personal AI tutor built right in, ready to answer any question you have. Or you're taking a MOOC that uses AI to create a learning path specifically for you, adapting in real time based on what you understand and what you're struggling with. That's the future. But we have to be realistic here. This amazing future isn't just going to happen on its own. For every incredible promise, like truly personalized education for everyone, there's a serious challenge we have to solve. We've got to tackle the digital divide to make sure everyone has access. We have to deal with huge data privacy concerns, and we have to make sure these tools actually work across different cultures and languages. And that leaves us with one final thought. As all these technologies continue to blend together, the line between being a student and a teacher, between a fixed curriculum and your own journey of discovery, it's all starting to blur. The power to customize and accelerate your own education is becoming greater than ever before. So the only question left is, what are you going to do with it?